Hey, what's up ladies and gents? Today's video is all about making the smartest choice in one of the most stacked packs we've ever seen in eFootball. The Legends Assemble pack gives you 15 legendary players, but here's the deal. You can only choose one. And I get it, it's a tough call. There are some huge names in there, but when it comes to making the best pick, it's not just about who looks good on the card, it's about how they perform based on their stats, roles and fit in your squad. Now I haven't used all of these guys in game, but I've built enough players to understand what really matters. Stat efficiency, booster value, playstyle fit, long-term squad usefulness. So based on that, I've ranked all 15 legends from rank 15 to rank 1 to help you make the smartest choice possible with no regrets. Now let's get into it, starting with rank number 15. In 15th place is Carlos Puyol, and the reason being is there is another destroyer in this pack who is far superior. Next up is Iker Casillas. He's an offensive goalkeeper. I do prefer offensive goalkeepers because they get off their line much quicker, and because I play a possession style, that means I do need a goalkeeper to act almost as a sweeper for those balls over the top. But the other goalkeeper in this pack is too good when it comes to the stats. He's just insane to try and beat, so that is the reason why Iker Casillas sits in 14th place. 13th place, Denilson, cross specialist. Look at this guy's stats. Honestly, if you like dribbling, then this is the guy for you. This was going to be the guy for me up until the point I packed Serginho in the last episode of my Road to Glory series. He doesn't have very good output, and for that reason, a lot of casuals, a lot of players who don't know how to dribble properly are going to struggle with this card. But if you do know how to dribble, then this guy is going to be a lot of fun. In 12th place is Wayne Rooney, who possesses phenomenal finishing. Now, in all honesty, this is a build that I would say is more preferential to the attacking midfield role as a whole player if you unlock that position. Otherwise, I would perhaps recommend this build. This is a very nicely rounded build, focusing more on finishing than passing, and taking advantage of that phenomenal finishing that he possesses. In 11th place, we have Paul Scholes, who possesses Visionary Pass. That improves the first touch passes, finishes and ball control of the player receiving the ball. And that is precisely why I built him this way. So he's got good control and he's going to feel great on the ball with those high tight possession and acceleration stats. He's got unbelievable kicking power, so you can smash them in from range, and obviously those passing stats to dominate that midfield area. Next up is Xabi Alonso, also possesses the Visionary Pass, but he's slightly better defensively and he's an orchestrator, whereas Paul Scholes was a creative playmaker. In 9th place, better stats wise than Scholes and Rooney in my opinion, Stojkovic does offer a lot, but he doesn't have any particular sort of outstanding player skill like Visionary Pass or something like that. So for that reason, he sits just behind Kaká, who has phenomenal pass. So this build here, I believe, is the build to go for. It's very nicely balanced. He's going to be great on the ball. He's going to be able to place a deadly passes through. This is more focused on passing. You could change it the other way. You could reduce the passing and boost the finishing, but I think to take advantage of that phenomenal pass, you have to boost the passing, and he's going to play some deadly balls in behind your opponent's defense. In 7th place, this is a player you can sort of build how you want. This guy, you could either make him really defensive like I've done, because I do find the online fullbacks are pretty useless. He can play anywhere across that back line, but I would always stick him in the wide areas. He is an offensive wing back, so in my opinion, make sure he's playing left back or right back. Otherwise, in the centre back against the top tier defenders, he's going to get exposed. But he's pretty tall for a fullback. He's got really good defensive qualities here if you go for this build. If you want to make him more offensive, you can absolutely do that as well. In 6th place, Blitzcurler Bale, and the reason he's not overly high is because he's a goal poacher. That means he's going to sit on the last line of defense, but with his offensive awareness, it's very hard to get it high because that's tied to the acceleration stat. So, and you don't get that much of a benefit once you go beyond 99. So in my opinion, he's not really worth it because yes, he's got blitz curler. That is quite nice to have. In 5th place is Diego Forlan, and honestly this guy is very, very tempting. Kicking power 99, that's what I really wanted. I wanted to unleash hell from range, 94 for finishing, 93 ball control. In all honesty, I would actually think about playing him in an attack midfield role, but in my Road to Glory team, because that's where I sort of need someone to be, but his passing stats are a little bit worryingly low in that area of the field. But if you want to bring on someone just to crack from range or have a little bit of fun, I think this guy could actually do some damage. In 4th place is Bebeto, and this is an even advanced build on the build that I'm currently using in my Road to Glory. And the reason being is I changed it to get that balance up to 90. I've lowered his sort of dribbling and tight possession skills just a fraction, just by 3 points. But to boost that balance, that's a really big advantage. And that acceleration boost is going to allow him to dart into the right areas. This guy has been phenomenal for me, and that's why he sits in 4th place. In 3rd place is Fabio Cannavaro, and he is an exceptional destroyer centre back, but he is a destroyer centre back at that. And as you know, they can get exposed to 1-2s against the top tier players. If you start playing against the actual pros, you're going to get exposed 1-2s. He will come charging out, and 9 times out of 10 he's going to get the ball, but there's that one chance he's not, and he's going to be left wide open one-on-one with your goalkeeper. So that is why he sits in 3rd place. In 2nd place is Oliver Kahn. I mean, you can't really put this guy any further down this because he's absolutely insane. This build is crazy. 98 for goalkeeping, 98 for reflexes, 97 for reach. Guys, this is the build you need. And honestly, this guy is so hard to beat, especially if you're playing quick counter, long ball counter, where your defense sits deep. He's going to suit your style. I think if you're playing a possession style, because he's a defensive goalkeeper, he's not going to come off his line all that much. And in my opinion, it takes a second or two to get him sort of charging out of his box, which can be very difficult, especially with his speed and acceleration pretty low as well. So you need to consider that depending on your playstyle. But honestly, if you want a shop stopper, then this is the guy to go for. And in 1st place is Marco van Basten. Now, I've got Gabriel Batistuta, and I think this guy is, obviously Gabriel Batistuta is a goal poacher. This is a fox in the box. As we've seen, the offensive awareness doesn't matter all that much with a fox in the box. So you can spread the stats out nice and evenly here. I think this is a great build, by the way. He's got good speed and acceleration, great jumping ability, and he's also got finishing and heading ability and tight possession and ball control. It's just insane. That build is absolutely insane. And the reason how I got his jump to 90 is because I'm using Johan Cruyff, who gives me a +1 to jumping, and I put 4 points in goalkeeping 1. A lot of people will sort of miss out on that. That will elevate his jumping for very, very few points. So that is how I would build Marco van Basten. And honestly, guys, that build, it's really tempting. But I have got Gabriel Batistuta, I've got Bebeto. I really don't know who I'm going to choose out of all these players. I still and ahhing. I'm like, oh, do I go for Diego Forlan, who's like the attack, and stick him in attack midfield for a bit of fun? But I just feel like his passing's not going to be great. The one that's really standing out for me right now in my Road to Glory series is Kaká, simply for that phenomenal passing. I do need someone to take over the player of the week, Cunha, so he sort of makes the most sense. But from my main account, how can I turn this guy down? Seriously, this guy is ridiculous. If you love skills, if you like doing scissor feints, flip flaps, Marseille turns, this guy is, I don't know, this guy is probably my favorite. This is I can't turn that down. I've got Messi on wing creating havoc, and yes, I've got Serginho, but he's not really a full-on dribbler as I'd like, and I do definitely prosper when I stick with my strong dribblers rather than those edge crossers. So yeah, I mean, it's so difficult to decide, but for me, it's either Denilson or Kaká. I think those are the two players that I'm sort of looking at, and that's the thing with this. I can rank these players But if you've already got some decent strikers in your side, then you're not going to need Van Basten. If you've got a good goalkeeper, you're not going to need Oliver Kahn. If you've got good defenders, you're not going to need Fabio Cannavaro. So it's okay ranking these like I have, but it depends on what you need. What is your play style? What is the way your team's operating? You know, if you're a possession player like me, Oliver Kahn might be a bit of a worry for you because he's not going to come out and clear up those sort of long balls over the defense. And then you may think, oh wait, I need someone in midfield to crack one from range. You might want to opt for Wayne Rooney or Paul Scholes. So yeah, it really does depend. There's no right or wrong answer in your selection here. The only thing I would say is, like, if you're going for a destroyer centre back, you're not going to choose Carlos Puyo, and because Fabio Cannavaro is simply far better. So there we go. That is my ranking of the 15 players from the Legends Assemble pack. Thanks for joining me, guys. Hopefully you guys found this useful. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.